What's going on, guys? Welcome back to CarX Street. Now, CarX has always been sort of a chill controller game for me, but the game's been out for a few weeks and we haven't quite yet gotten a gameplay here on wheel, so I figured for today we'd plug in the G920 and get some drifts. We are going to be cruising some toge roads today, and then we're going to be getting some online tandems, but first I want to take you guys through some settings. So first things first, we do have our mapping here. I want to show you guys how I have everything set up. So we have our G920 in here, steering, accelerate, brake, clutch, all of that's pretty self-explanatory. E-brake we have mapped separately, so I'll show you guys that in a second. Nitro is button 2, that's B. Shift up and down are mapped to the paddles, just in case we have a paddle shifter car. Then we got first through 6 all mapped on our H shifter. Reset position is going to be our right bumper button. Switch view is Y. Honk is our Xbox button. Enable traction control doesn't have a button because who needs it? Then we got headlights on. That's going to be our LSB. Look back is going to be D-pad down in case we need it. Open map is going to be button 8, and then open radial is 7. Now I have seen some questions about the handbrake. We have that mapped separately here. So our Extreme 3D is our flight stick. I've always used that for my handbrake. I haven't had a reason really to upgrade to a proper handbrake yet, so that's what we are using today. And then we just go in here and map that as e-brake. So if you guys are having trouble mapping your e-brake, usually in my experience, people are trying to map it in here. You don't want to do that. You want to go back out to the device itself and then map it on that device. Obviously, guys, gearbox is going to be manual, clutch is manual too, axis visual controls, I don't even know what that is, but we have it off, and then our force feedback is all the way up. Now, we are going to be driving our Mark IV Super here today from our build video. If you guys haven't seen that, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below, but we haven't changed a single thing except for one setting on this build. So heading into the tuning shop here, guys, you'll notice if we go into suspension and then into our tuning options for suspension, our Ackerman angle is all the way down. I'm going to highly recommend you guys do this on any tune if you are driving it on wheel. It's so much easier to drive this thing without spinning out, and it makes the wheel less shaky on transition too. We do have the tires set to 235s as well. I pinned a comment in that video, but I like the 235s better than the 245, and we are running a standard stretch on this car as well. Other than that though, guys, everything should be good here on the Mark IV to get some free mode drifts. Typically we drive drift spots, but today we're going to be driving on some roads. Should be a lot of fun here. A lot of third and fourth gear action, just like driving on controller, and definitely a lot of fun driving through some traffic. Those spots usually don't have traffic. Now, neither do the toge roads, a lot of them. Get out of my way, man. Like I said, there's not traffic on the toge roads, which is something that they've been talking a lot about over on Slap's channel recently, and something I wanted to bring up here in this video today too. I'd like to see some traffic on those roads. Obviously, this road has some traffic, but these roads here, the Toge Paradise, they don't have traffic, which I think I'd like to see it, right? Because obviously in single player, you can just turn traffic off, or you can just go online where there's no traffic anyway, but it's still super fun nonetheless. This car is perfect for it with that third and fourth gear range. You drive it sort of the same way that you do on controller. Not a lot of second gear, plenty of third and fourth though. Definitely trying to get used to it a little bit here, as well as recording and driving at the same time. Obviously, driving on wheel is a lot different than controller, and then recording while you drive on wheel is a whole other thing, so definitely trying to get used to it. And I do have a few tips for you guys on wheel. Obviously, the first one's going to be that Ackerman angle, right? Like, you definitely want to make sure you have that as low as possible. Helps you prevent some spin outs. Oh, I bottomed out there. But it does help you prevent some spin outs. And then the second one is going to be throttle moderation. So on your weight transitions, you don't want to mat it everywhere. I feel like CarX Drift Racing was a little bit easier to hop right on wheel and get your transitions down. On this game, though, you definitely want to make sure you can moderate your throttle, even in like a 450, 500 horsepower car. You don't want to be full throttle all the time. You want to be able to sort of lighten up when your car gets back to the middle, just so that you don't over transition. Like right here, I'm only about half throttle, right? Until I really know that I want to rotate the car. And then I get back on full throttle for rotation. So that's another point for sure. And then the third thing is you don't want to drag your handbrake a ton off the bat. As you sort of get used to the steering a little bit more, you can definitely drag the handbrake a little bit more. But off the bat, you kind of want to just clutch kick and left foot brake if you can. So let me show you guys a left foot brake here. So you guys might be able to see, hopefully it's bright enough, but I'm on my brakes here, slowing down, just sort of learning that first before I get on my handbrake. Because on this game, the handbrake will send you around a little bit easier than it will on drift racing. So you definitely want to make sure you have your throttle control and your steering locked in a little bit more before you just go dragging the handbrake everywhere. But with those tips, I think it is pretty fun, honestly, here. This game feels great on wheel once you sort of get used to it. And I think the tune helps too, right? Like the Supra's got a little bit more camber to it than the RX-7 did. I definitely struggled with the RX-7, but in this car, it feels a lot better. This car might be a little bit heavier too, but it's so much fun here. Super smooth, super stable. At least in third and fourth gear. Now, I do want to hit up a different set of roads in a little bit before we get online to talk a little bit more about the high-speed stuff, the fourth and fifth gear area, because I do feel like I struggle a little bit more with that higher speed stuff. So where the transitions are a little bit finicky and you got to really moderate your throttle on transitions, I feel like that becomes more of a problem the higher speed you're going, right? So roads like this where you're really just third and fourth, really not an issue. But when you get out to the higher speed stuff, the fourth and fifth gear stuff, it does get to be a little bit trickier. And so I definitely don't want to front like I'm super skilled on the wheel yet. I'm learning too, but can definitely get some nice drifts in this area. This is super sick. So this kind of runs up from like Blizz Station up to the drift track, and then kind of back around as well. And so a lot of uphill here. We'll try and get some downhills as well before we go out to the higher speed stuff. But I was driving a little bit last night in preparation for this video, and I did hit some higher speed stuff just to try and feel it out. And I definitely struggled a lot more up into 5th gear than I do around here, like I said, with 3rd and 4th. So just trying to run some clean lines here though, trying to stay to that outside as much as I can, keep it smooth, don't be jerking the wheel around a ton. You want to steer more with your feet than your hands, definitely with drifting. So just trying to get used to that. Definitely plenty of clutch kicks, that's for sure. So we'll head around here. That's the drift station behind us. Or sorry, the drift track right down there. And then we have our gas station. We're looking good on tires and fuel, so I don't think we need to stop. And then we'll head back around this way and sort of see what we can find. I haven't really explored these roads too much on the YouTube channel or on Twitch. I've just kind of been driving the drift spots with everyone and trying to get tandems out there. And I made the mistake, but I made the mistake of trying to jump into the wheel right off the rip and get tandems. And I think it's a lot better to just sort of drive some roads, feel out the car, get used to it a little bit. And I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. So hopefully once we hop into an online lobby here, we'll be able to get some nice tandems. Oh man, see right there. Okay, so that's a higher speed transition. I was in 3rd gear. I probably should have been in 4th, maybe even 5th. I think I definitely rely on keeping the car in a shorter gear and just banging redline, and that's not gonna work for you in this game. You definitely wanna make sure you're okay shifting into higher gears as you get a little bit faster so that you have some bite on that rear axle as you go to accelerate. Because if you run out, you're just gonna spin out, right? And so definitely need to make sure you're okay with that. I'm gonna turn left here and head out towards those roads. We'll see if we can cruise it. Whoa, had to catch it there. And that's another thing. When the car starts really swinging around, the wheel actually gets a little bit lighter in the force feedback. Games like Forza and Assetto, you might be able to feel the road a little bit more when the car's swinging around violently like that. See, that's 4th gear. See how much smoother that is now? I probably could have even got up into 5th gear if I really wanted to. But just feeling out the gearing, really making sure we can get into each corner. 4th is super usable. I'm probably in 3rd too much, honestly, in a lot of these corners. I would like to be a little bit more to the outside. Let me try one more corner here. Nice 4th gear transition. There we go. And so I'm thinking we're about ready for some tandems. We're definitely gonna hop online in a minute, but I wanna show you guys some of that higher speed stuff where I've really been learning. Because I think once you get comfortable with the higher speed drifts, you get a lot more comfortable with the lower speed stuff. So if we head into the map here, this is where we got into the tailgate down here. We ran all the way around through here, back around and over here. So this is where we are now. And then if you head up into these roads, way up here, I actually have a house up here, and run all this down. This helps a ton with high speed transitions. So we're gonna head over there, get some fast travel going, and we're gonna run some high speed. Now, I'm warning you guys, I'm gonna crash and I'm gonna spin out a ton. But it's the best way to learn. So we get up into 3rd, get up into 4th. Now if I just push 4th all the way through here, see how the car freaks out at redline? Look at that. I can't catch it, I can't do anything. So what I'm gonna wanna do is learn how to use that 5th gear a little bit more. And so I gotta be quick with that right hand. And definitely make sure we're okay being up into 5th gear. So even right here, I'm just gonna grab 5th and really push it. And again, the car feels pretty solid, pretty stable in that 5th gear. So you can't be scared. You can't leave it in 3rd or 4th and just expect to redline everywhere. In fact, it's gonna hurt you in the long run. So this is all 5th. I'm gonna need 4th down here. It's a little tighter, probably into 3rd as it button hooks, then back to 4th. And then right here, 5th gear, right? Try and get that long extension, not bad. Hit the inside, keep it in 5th. Super fast sections through here. And 5th gear is working for us, right? Is it redlining? No. Does it need to be? No. You can use it. It's gonna spin the tires, it's gonna break loose for you, and it's gonna help a ton when it comes time to accelerate and transition without completely spinning out. Because like I said, I think if you're trying to transition and your car's just beaning redline, you're more likely to spin out. And so you definitely wanna make sure you're okay being in those higher gears, especially on wheel. Now, like I said, it's not the smoothest, down into 4th here, by the way, but it's really great for learning, right? And like I said, I think the more you can learn these super high speed sections, the better off you're gonna be when you get back to the airport or on those slower tailgate roads. Ooh, a lot of angle there. And so really just learning and feeling it out. And if any of you guys are wheel pros, definitely let me know if you guys have some tips for me too. Hit that wheel drop. Oh man, because I'm definitely, oh no expert. I understeered into the wall. Oh man, and right here too, you gotta remember, this is huge. You gotta let off the throttle, right? You can't be full throttle everywhere. That's a mistake I'm making. Nice backy. Let's go, that was pretty solid. But that's the learning curve, man. So if you guys are experts here on the wheel, definitely let me know if you guys have any tips for me too, because I'm learning here with you guys. This is my first wheel gameplay on the channel, and I definitely don't want to front like any expert. Oh my goodness, am I driving like garbage. That was some pretty hot garbage driving, if I do say so myself. We'll go back around, and I'm just running out of gear. So that's the high-speed section. Definitely a struggle for me, but it is super nice to get out there and practice a little bit. So those are kind of my tips if you guys are learning too. I think what we should do next is hop online and see if we can get some tandems too. So we're gonna head out here to online, and usually they're down here. They're all at the apartment. So I've been struggling with this on the wheel just because of some of the bumps and stuff. So I actually feel like this is gonna be perfect for us. All right, guys. So we caught a little tandem train here at the apartments. We got another super to drive with. Let's go. We're gonna try and keep our distance here. Definitely don't want to be driving through anyone, ruining their tandems. And we'll try to work a little bit closer as we go. Buddy's making a pass. All right. So we got Sed here. We're gonna drive with Sed. And be careful on our transitions up this hill. This was really giving me a ton of trouble in the RX-7. That little bump going to the left up the hill. Oh, be careful of Sed there. Oh, he's got that green nitrous. I see you. Back down the transition here. And this is where throttle moderation, even when you're drifting, is going to be really important, right? Because we don't want to go too fast and run anyone over. We don't want to over-angle the car either and have to catch up. So just get a little bit closer here. Love the apartments. This was in our drift spots video. If you guys haven't checked that out, I'll leave a link in the description down below to that as well. Nice tap there from Sed. He's a great driver. A lot of camber on that thing, little stancy, and that's what gets me every time here, dude, is transitioning on that uphill. So I'm gonna work on that a little bit here while we're here, and I'm gonna wait for the guys to come back down the hill and hop back in that tandem, because that's what gets me every time. I gotta be careful. I start watching the car in front of me, and I don't worry enough about the weight of the car and how it's transitioning. So I'm gonna be really cognizant of that. Like I said here, guys, I'm learning here too. I'm definitely not a pro sim drifter by any means. Always playing these games on controller, so we're gonna really lock in here. Don't full throttle. There we go. I think that's another problem that I had last time around too, is I full throttled it when I really shouldn't have. And it's funny, I think I called this spot the apartments, but I think this is the observatory that everyone is always talking about. People have been saying observatory in the comments, and I'm like, what is that? And I think it's this. I think we called it apartments on our stream on Twitch, which if you guys haven't followed on Twitch, I'm gonna leave a link in the description down to that as well. Make sure you guys do that. Come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun over there. We have open drift meets and car meets all the time. So much fun. But he's got some skinny tires there too. It was a late transition, but we're back on him. Let's go. Hell yeah, Sed. Running close to the wall, so I gotta lighten up the angle a little bit here. Don't want to push it too hard. Big transition, huge swing. Make a little pass. Excuse me, sir, that was a little greasy. Oh, now we're middle train. Now we're middle train. Let's go, boys. Woo! Okay. Buddy's on our door, absolutely glued. Let's go. Oh, set in the wall. Thanks for the push, man. I appreciate you. Oh, that was sick. This is so much fun on wheel, guys. I think I've been missing out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I pushed it too hard. All right, couple more doors to end the video here, guys. Neon and Sed, shout out to these guys, holding it down for us. Definitely tricky getting some doors here in a public lobby. It looks like Sed might even be running some different tires. I've stuck to the street tires. I like them a lot. I was always a 90 adhesion guy in CarX drift racing, so just seems like kind of a natural extension to be running a less grippy tire on street. But we are sort of figuring out some of the transitions and whatnot. These guys transition super wide through this back section, so I've kind of learned as we go here to give them a little bit of room and let them do their thing. And then just get back on them in the spirals. Oh, as they hit the wall. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys a ton. If you guys did enjoy the video or found it useful at all, please feel free to leave a like down below, subscribe for more just like it, and if you guys have any tips for me, definitely let me know down in the comments as well. Once again, guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate you a ton, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.